comes from knowing you're enough, even when everything else falls away. Because at the end of this brutal, unforgiving road, there's no trophy, no applause, just the satisfaction of knowing that you walked it alone and damn well survived. You walk this path, step by step, each stride heavier than the last. The world may try to tell you that the way forward is crowded, that strength is found in numbers, but you know the truth. When the sun sets and silence wraps around you like a suffocating shroud, no one hears your thoughts, no one shares the weight pressing on your chest. That's when the real fight begins. The dark isn't just a backdrop, it's a test. It whispers doubts, drags old ghosts into the spotlight, and dares you to break. But breaking isn't an option, is it? The fire in your gut won't allow it. So you take another step, feet scraping on ground.
Please take this short break from your video to support our channel by getting yourself merch. Enjoy the rest of the video.
That never promised comfort. You stare down the haunting faces of the past, their sneers and their taunts. You dare them to push you because, unlike them, you've learned to feed on your own silence, to find nourishment in the ache. Remember those days when you were on your knees, choking back rage, tasting the bitter tang of defeat? The days where hope was a flicker buried deep in the ashes of a burned-out dream. You dug your fingers into that dirt and pulled yourself up, inch by inch. And no one can take that from you. Those moments, those battles where you stood alone, made you into the weapon you are now. They sharpened your edges, carved resilience into your bones. You're not here to fit in. You're not here to make others feel comfortable with their mediocrity. You stand apart, a figure that moves through the crowd, but isn't part of it. They see you, they whisper, but they don't understand. They don't know what it costs to stand on your own, to build walls around a heart too used to betrayal, to say, I don't need you, I've got me. And that's not pride, it's necessity. The streets you walk, the dark alleys, and the cracked sidewalks, they're not just places. They're markers of every step where you could have stopped, every place you could have let the weight win. But you didn't. You kept moving, driven by that whisper in your mind that said, one more day, one more fight. And let's not pretend that makes you invincible. There are nights where exhaustion sinks in deep, where the silence isn't peaceful but suffocating. There are nights when the grief hits so hard, it feels like a knife, twisting and tearing. But even then, even when your vision blurs and fists tremble, you remember, you move alone. not because you want to, but because you've learned the cost of leaning on others who crumble when you need them most. In this harsh reality, being alone is both a curse and a badge of honor. It marks you as someone who didn't flinch when faced with truth, who took every lie, every betrayal, and transformed them into lessons. You are the dark man, the one who doesn't wait for a savior, the one who rises without applause, without witnesses, the one who moves, battered but unbroken, through the silence. Because if no one is watching, you still fight. And that's what makes you different. That's what makes you unstoppable. Even when the storms come, battering against what little shelter you have built in your mind, you face it down. You grit your teeth and lean into the howling winds, defiant, fearless. Not because you're fearless by nature. No, fear lives in you like it does in everyone else. The difference is that you've learned to master it, to use it as fuel when everything else runs dry. The world sees the rage in your eyes and mistakes it for anger. But you know it's survival. It's the fire that's kept you from crumbling under the weight of everything that's tried to bury you. People think moving alone is cold, heartless. They don't see the sacrifices, the sleepless nights spent staring at the ceiling, every muscle aching, every thought a jagged edge cutting at your resolve. They don't see the moments where giving up would be easier, where surrender whispers like a friend. But you laugh in the face of surrender, not because you're reckless, but because you know the price of weakness. You've paid it before, and you swore to yourself, never again. Every scar on your body, every mark etched into your skin, tells a story that no one will ever fully understand. And that's fine. Let them believe what they want. Let them think your path is madness, that moving alone is a sign of failure or isolation. They don't know what it's like to stand at the edge of the abyss and take a step forward, not back, with nothing but your own will to keep you from falling. And here's the truth that most people will never grasp. There is freedom in moving alone. Freedom from the chains of expectation, from the need for approval that turns warriors into beggars. You don't need to hear, "I'm proud of you," or wait for someone's nod of acknowledgement. You have long since abandoned that hunger. You learn to feed yourself on the victories that no one else sees. The battles fought in silence, the wars won in the quiet places of your mind. When the sun comes up, casting light on a world that will never know your name or your sacrifices, you're not bitter. No, you stand there, bloodied, worn, and more alive than those who sleep through life. You take that moment and claim it, not because anyone said you could, but because you earned it. Because when everyone else chose comfort, you chose to walk alone. And that has made all the difference.